In addition to being a successful musician, singer, arranger, publisher, studio owner, this Southern Renaissance man is a major songwriting talent, having provided hits to Alabama, Ricky Skaggs, Steve Wariner, and T.G. Shepherd, just to name a few. He's produced Shenandoah, Chris Ledoux, Sawyer Brown, and along with Michael Utley, produced his first #1 pop and country album ever, Licensed to Chill, McAnally, the newest member of the National Songwriters Hall of Fame.
My mom was the piano player at our church, and she grew up, you know, and I resisted playing piano as a rebellion, the traditional rebellion against your parents, you know, but in truth, it was always going in our house. There was always music in our house. We didn't have television, so 3 nights a week, our whole neighborhood of Mississippi would descend on our house with songbooks and mandolins and dulcimers, and my mom would play piano, and they would drink coffee and smoke cigarettes and sing gospel music, and that's what I heard. That was my entertainment. One of my favorite things about Down the Road and how it's come about recently is that it's not a recent song. I wasn't trying to get a cut or write a hit or anything like that. The song just represented a bunch of good feelings, and stayed that way for 21 years, and Kenny Chesney calls me out of the blue, and he said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I went over the next day, and we sat for an hour and a half and sang Down the Road, and turns out, you know, all this time, it's a #1 record 21 years after birth. When I was a boy, 4 houses down from me was a family with an only child. She was the only girl in this old world that could make me smile. Down the road, I made up reasons to go down the road. Out down the street from here, there's an engineer with an only son, and our baby girl says she believes that he is the only one. Down the road, her mama wants to know, is it washed in the blood or just in the water? And I want to know that he makes enough to take my daughter. Down the road, when it comes time to go down the road. You know, I do music. Music's going on all the time for me. It's in my head every day. I'm in the studio most days, more days than not. I never stop playing. If I have a day off, I get up at 5:30 in the morning and I play bad gospel piano, and my neighbors probably get aggravated. So it's probably just as well that I get out there where music's supposed to be instead of just making noise in my neighborhood. The songs have never stopped. You know, I'm happy that I've been recognized some for what I do, and I'm happy that I've had some success with what I do, but it really doesn't ever change what I do. It's always the same. I'm always trying to write something better. I'm always trying to say something I haven't said before, and I'm always trying to figure out something about life and mash it down into a song. That's just what I do. The fact that I'm getting to do it again with a record deal is really the only difference. The river looked much wider than it ever seemed before. Even though we crossed 100 times or more, we were scared, so we dared each other. You first, and I'll be right behind you. You first, I'll meet you on the other side. The nature of a hero. My father-in-law was a veteran of Normandy. He went in Utah Beach in World War II, and I'd taken him a couple of years earlier down to the D-Day Museum grand opening in New Orleans, and I got a lot of stories from him about the sacrifices that brothers in arms make for one another. So the military aspect of the song was strong from my own family and from my own experience as well, and that manifested itself in the song. 2 wounded brothers, and one says to the other, you first. What's been interesting about You First is grown men have just bent over and boo-hooed. You know, they just, people in the studio that heard it once, they were just sitting in there working on making a copy for somebody that the song started, and they go, "This is about to make me cry, isn't it?" Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. You know, and that's, I don't set out to make somebody cry with a song, but I like when emotion is a part of a song. I like that music can convey emotion.
All these years that we've been through, I wish it could be me.
It still gives me chill bumps. When the song happened, when it was written, it stood the hair up on my arm, and that's a lot of hair. And still, when I play it now, it does. And that just can't be a bad thing. When songs light you up, it's a good thing.
On the other side, you've always been my hero, and here's my leap of faith. You find out what you're made of when it's your time to say, you first. You first.
I had a long run with Sawyer Brown, writing and producing. We had a really nice run of #1s with them, and with Jimmy Buffett. License to Chill album entered the country and the pop charts as a #1 album, and that was the first time I ever had anything to do with that. After License to Chill did what it did, and Jimmy calls and he says, "You know, I've been in the business 35 years, and I just got the biggest check from a record company I ever got, and I want to thank you guys." And the fact that you can help somebody who's already had everything 4 different ways get something that he hadn't had before was really wonderful. And he's one of my best friends. A beer bottle thrown across the room, hits a wall behind my head, and boom, there goes another fine daydream. I'm producing this over-the-hill songwriter named McAnally from Mississippi. Is giving me all kinds of grief right now. He's not cooperative in the least. Said, "Son, the secret of my overnight success is hard work and luck and 20 years and nothing less." Probably the greatest thing that I get from people is when they come up and they say, "This song got me through this time in my life." To me, that's one of the greatest things about music, is whatever experience you have in life, happiness, sadness, joy, it all translates. And the fact that that becomes a bond between you and someone who hears it is just the coolest thing. And so when those people come up and they say, you know, "This song got me through my marriage or my divorce or the loss of somebody or the finding of the partner of my dreams," or whatever it amounts to, that means that I shared something with somebody I don't really know. And they know something about me, and I now know something about them. That the connection between them is this song that I was lucky enough to get to write. And who knows if it's because I'm a good songwriter or if I was just a guy that had his guitar out in the middle of the night and the song floated down the street. But I'm blessed either way.
The river looked much wider than it ever seemed before. Even though we crossed 100 times or more, we were scared, so we dared each other, you first, and I'll be right behind you, you first. I'll meet you on the other side.